What's up, everyone? Welcome to Gotta Watch 'Em All, episode 34. Today is November 5th, 2017. My name is Ken Pescator, joined by my co-host Adam Tuttle. Adam, what's going on, brother?
Not too much. Just chilling, relaxing.
Maxing, relaxing, all that good stuff.
Yeah, okay. I can't get the rest of that.
In this show, our full Gotta Watch 'Em All podcast, what we do is we cover Pokemon in all of its forms. So we're going to talk about Pokemon Go, the TCG, sometimes the TCG Online. We'll talk about the main series games, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, spin-off games, PokemonCenter.com merchandise. Pretty much, if there's news in the world of Pokemon, we'll try to touch on it here. This is an all-encompassing Pokemon show. So we're going to touch on all those different topics today. We're going to start with Philly Free Streets. This is something that we talked about in detail over the past couple episodes of our spin-off Lured Up, which is just our Pokemon Go podcast. But for those that have not heard those episodes, we'll briefly touch on it now. Adam, what was your final thoughts and your overall feedback from the Philly Free Streets event? I mean, how amazing was this event?
It was absolutely amazing. Honestly, I wish they would do something like this again. It was so much fun. Great memories. You know, I vlogged it all, so it's on our YouTube. You can go check it out. It was a blast. It was so awesome just being there and just having hundreds and hundreds of people just surrounding you. Wow, like everybody's there playing Pokemon.
It could have fooled me that this wasn't a full-scale Pokemon Go event. I mean, there was just trainers everywhere. Everything seemed to be influenced by Pokemon Go in one way or another. Just everywhere you looked, it was just absolutely amazing. Kudos to Niantic and the Knight Foundation and everyone that was involved with Philly Free Streets. What just an awesome time and positive thoughts, positive feedback all the way around. It was great, man. And we got to see the Liberty Bell. We got to see a bunch of cool historic stuff too. So excellent stuff. Kudos in the world of Pokemon Go, as far as Philly Free Streets is concerned. But in other news for Pokemon Go, Suicune is out. It's been out for a couple days now. The normal raid bosses, the tier 1 through 4, those just rotated today. So there's a bunch of new raid bosses. If you want to hear detail on that, listen to Lured Up episode 6, which we just recorded earlier today. And we break down all of the bosses that are now available in Pokemon Go. Getting into the TCG, Adam, this is, it hurts my brain how much product has come out over the past couple days. The launch date for the Crimson Invasion expansion was just 2 days ago. That was November 3rd. But it just seems that there's just a ridiculous amount of stuff going on with the TCG right now. Like, how can we possibly keep up?
I was still blown away. I'm like, wait a minute. I woke up. I was like, Crimson Invasion came out today. And I was so thrown off because I'm still getting Shining Legends cards. I'm like, it was too fast. This one set after the other is just too fast. I ordered an Elite Trainer box, so that'll be in soon. I don't know. I'm excited to open up my first packs.
I still have a Shining Legends premium collection sitting sealed on my table. I still have not opened this thing up. I gotta shoot a video of it. So
goodness.
That's the thing, like when you're trying to make content out of, the stuff that you buy, you end up buying it and then not opening it for a while because you're trying to build content around it. So I've been staring at this box for so long. It's been here for like a week and a half and it's like, I want to open it so bad. But, I can't believe Crimson Invasion is here already, but it seems from the page on Pokemon.com that explains, kind of what's going on with this set and how it's, they kind of promote it as Silvally confronts the Ultra Beasts. So they show this really, really wicked looking Silvally GX card. And then they also show off some cool Ultra Beasts in card form, which is really, really neat. I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked at the cards in detail to see how the Ultra Beasts are going to play, but I'm imagining that between them being a GX and them having some, unique moves, it's probably going to make for some pretty cool new stuff happening in the meta as far as the cards are concerned.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the new decks that come out of this. With that being said, Toys R Us, they have this Saturday, there's going to be another, trade, collect, and build event at our Toys R Us. So you're going to get a promo stamped Jangamo O card. You're going to get the first 50 people get a Togedemaru, a little action figure.
You did it right.
I tried. I took my time. I was like, I think that's his name.
Jangmo O is no walk in the park either.
No, and then you get to build a Mega Bloks Pokeball and take
Mega Constructs. This is that new brand, or that new line where they have like a Gyarados and a Charizard, but they do look a little Mega Blocky. But dude, this is like a cool event. I work every Saturday, so I can never make these events, but Melissa and Josh can always go. But this one's cool because you'll actually be able to get 4 pieces of swag. You'll get this collector's album thing, the card, the Togedemaru toy, and then this Mega Constructs ball. Like 4 items for free. Man, that's the goods.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And even if I'm working, I'm gonna be like, guys, I'm on lunch. I gotta go. There's a Pokemon event.
Between 1 and 3, I'm out.
Well, I mean, I work right next to a Toys R Us, so it works out perfectly for me.
There you go.
On Pokemon.com, there's an insane amount of new boxes. There's a Team Skull pin collection, Zoroark GX Shining Legends collection, 2 different Ultra Beast GX premium collections that come with a playmat. There's a Buzzle and a Xerxes tree. I don't know. And then the other one is Pheromosa and Celesteela.
So, I was always kind of weird with these boxes. So when the mythical collections were out and they were like the $12.99 boxes, I picked all those up. The Elite Trainer boxes, stuff like that, I'll always pick up. But when they do these promo boxes, I'm always kind of on the fence. And what I like about what's happening now with these promo boxes is they're giving us significant options of what comes inside of this stuff. So, like the Team Skull pin collection, like if you want pins, they give you this option. There's, a decent amount of boosters in there as well, and a whole slew of promos. The Shining Legend Zoroark gives you the jumbo and some boosters plus some promos and a coin. Then you've got the Ultra Beast Premium collections where you're going to get 8 boosters and then a playmat and then promos and a coin. Like, there's a varying range of price points and a varying range of contents within each of these boxes where you might have not thought that the boxes made much sense financially, but now they give you the option where if you're looking for the jumbo or if you're looking for pins, you kind of have some options here, which is pretty cool. And I'm not too savvy on how and where these promo cards fit into the meta, but you were kind of looking at some of the moves that are available in these promos, and some of them seem pretty strong, right?
Yeah, they're very interesting. I know I was looking at Circuitry. And it's got its GX move is lighting, and it allows you, it says, your opponent reveals their hand and add a card you find there to their prizes. And put it face down. So that's such a cool move, and that you can play that, use it, and you can potentially ruin their entire setup by taking any card of your choice from their hand and then adding it to their prize card. So they not only have to take an additional prize, they lose something that they needed in their hand.
I don't know has that ever been done? Has that ever been a mechanic in the game of being able to take something away from the hand and make it a prize card? Like that seems like a pretty awesome technique.
I don't think so. There's been ways to manipulate your prizes, look at things face up, which is also another GX move on another one. But never, I mean, and there have been add prize cards. I think it was a duel where it was Dialga Palkia. There were 2 cards that were sideways, and you basically had to tip them on their side to make one full card. It was one of their, I think it was one of their attacks that added to the prizes. Circuitry, watch out for it.
Well, I mean, even the Zoroark card, the ability is called Trade. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. So it's not only a good way to potentially push something to your discard pile that you can grab from another means, but also draw 2 cards. It just seems like these promos have just such awesome stuff that if there is an increase to the cost of these boxes just for these promo cards, they might be worth it in the meta, depending on how you can kind of apply what things cost to how effective they are in the game itself. But I guess digitally they would call this like a pay to play or pay to win really. If it was in a DLC pack or something like that. But this is really going to be the only place you could find these cards, and so that might be worth the price of admission just to get into these cards. But
yeah, even at GameStop today, I just thinking now, I just saw a Silvally box. It had an ability that allowed all your basic Pokemon to have free retreat. That's insane.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Well, because aren't there some GX cards that are basic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the GX are basic.
So that's crazy.
They can be either way, stage 1 or stage 2, but a lot of them are basics because they are also that void where they switched over from EX to GX.
Right. Because I know that there's Charizard EX cards that are basic Pokemon.
Yes.
Interesting, man. It seems like there's a lot of new mechanics, and I really dig just the new style of artwork that you can find on these GXs. I don't know, man. The full arts, the vibrant colors that they're using, it's like I almost want to find a whole bunch of these cards that look good together in a color pattern and frame them. The cards just look so awesome.
Yes, yeah. They're doing a really good job. But Ken, 12 days from now, we're going to be playing Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Dude, I still didn't pre-order it. I was sleeping on it. I don't know what my deal is. Well, I actually saw on PokemonCenter.com, I saw the pre-order bonus is this cute little plush keychain. I don't know. Does GameStop have a pre-order bonus? I don't know what they have. I thought there was something where maybe it was Target, you get some extra potions and some Pokeballs, or something, some weird stuff like that. But I might end up doing it through Pokemon Center. I have a $10 credit with them, and if that's the only place to get the little plushy keychain, the swag pulls me in.
Yeah, go for that.
But yeah, I'm getting more and more excited about it. And this past week there was a ridiculous trailer that dropped that kind of blew the lid off of some of the added features that are going to be a differentiating factor between regular Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. And the trailer was based around the reveal of Team Rainbow Rocket, which looks absolutely sick. And Giovanni is back, Mewtwo is back, and it runs down how all of the team leaders going all the way back, Maxie, Archie, Cyrus, Getsis, Lysander. They don't talk about Guzma, but I'm assuming that he's in there somewhere, but not through this means because he is in Sun and Moon. But all of these trainers are back, all of their Pokemon are back, and I believe to some extent all of the legendaries that have been released to date between Sun and Moon, they break up between, groups of the legendaries. Some are in Ultra Sun, some are in Ultra Moon. But you'll be able to catch every legendary ever released in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And that to me is absolutely awesome. I am so fired up for that because I don't have all these old Pokemon. I played X and Y and that's it. And I didn't play all the way through. So this is like an awesome opportunity for me to go back and find these awesome Pokemon and then get them and add them to my team. And I'm just really excited for this. This game just seems to be getting deeper and deeper and richer every time they release something. So I'm just so fired up. This looks like this game could be it's just amazing. I'm so fired up.
If you're fired up, Ken, you need to be like even more on fire. You need to be a blue flame. Okay? Because you need to pre-order this game.
Yes, I
Tonight.
I do. I was watching Nintendo Wire did a unboxing of the new 2DS XL Pokeball edition. And I was like, is Nintendo really going to get me for another $160 at the end of the 3DS life cycle by making me buy this really awesome 2DS XL? I think I have two 3DSs, a 3DS XL, just countless other versions of all the handhelds. Am I really going to buy another one? I don't know. I think I might. The button on the top of the 2DS is clickable. And that's awesome. Here's my $160. Let me click the button, damn it. I don't know. I just think that there's a ridiculous amount of cool features in this game. Being able to fight all the old bosses, being able to go back and catch all the legendaries. There's a new trial. You know, all the trials that were in the original game are back. There's a new trial for Mina. It just seems that they squeezed so much more game into this game that they've come out and said it. It's not a sequel, but it's as close to one as you could possibly get with how much different content there is available. And, you know, there's this arena mode thing too. So it's just like, man, there's so much to do. I'm really looking forward to playing it. And I don't know, man, do people stream 3DS games without capture cards?
Yeah, I was looking it up on YouTube today.
Because getting a capture card in your 3DS is a very, very pricey thing. Like, and I would love to do footage of the gameplay of this game, but you got to drop like $500 to some dude that will make this in his basement of a 3DS that has a capture card that lets you rip files out of it. I'm wondering if people set up a camera in front of their handheld and stream the game that way, because I just think it'd be cool to kind of run through this game, at least showing some of this stuff on camera, because it just seems so exciting that you can fight Giovanni, you could battle Giovanni and battle Mewtwo and ultimately catch Mewtwo. Like, come on. It just looks so awesome. I'm really excited for this game. It just seems like they're doing it absolutely right. And I think this is going to be a really awesome send off for the franchise on, the 3DS handhelds. Cause we all know the next time we see this, it'll be on the Switch.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this episode. This is going to be an interesting one, because we talked about episode 18, where that was a banned episode. And that episode was banned because there was some kind of adult themes and some really weird stuff, beach scenes that were a little bit inappropriate. And they banned that episode in the States. It came out in an edited form, years later. This should have been episode 35. As far as the full canon, if you piece everything together. But episode 35 is the next banned episode in Pokemon's roster. And in this episode that's banned, Ash and the party finally get to the Safari Zone and catch some Pokemon. The past 2 episodes, we've been talking about when are they going to get to the Safari Zone and catch these darn Pokemon. And now we find out the episode that they finally do that in is banned and has been, for our intents and purposes, removed from the timeline. And now,
it's just like awful.
Episode 34, because we're back in episode again, starts off with the narrator even saying like, fresh out of the Safari Zone, and you're like, what? Wait, the Safari Zone, what did I miss? Oh, well, we missed the whole banned episode that, if you're watching on Netflix, will not be in the timeline. So, banned episode. So this episode was actually banned because when they're in the Safari Zone, Team Rocket plays the role as poachers again. And there's some scenes where they draw guns and like point them at Ash. And there's a lot of guns. There's a lot of handguns and there's a lot of rifles and stuff getting pointed at kids. So that was enough to have this episode never be aired in the States. And unlike episode 18, which did come back around and go on the air at a later date, but edited, this one never made it. So there's actually never been a US air date on that episode, banned episode. So it's interesting, but we totally miss it. So this episode 34, The Bridge Bike Gang, original air date, October 23rd, 1998. Like I said, the episode starts with a giant plot hole of them saying that they just came out of the Safari Zone, and they had just caught a whole bunch of Pokemon. We never see it, but it is what it is. I love the way this episode starts, because you hear the famous Route 1 music from Red and Blue, and just hearing that music just makes me so happy. So
yeah, it gives you all the feels.
It was like, yes, like anytime I could draw that connection back to my Gen 1 days and back to the handhelds and all that stuff, it's really good. So hearing that music in the background is really, really cool. And you can't really trust the narrator because he's talking about the banned episode, but it comes up that they're trying to reach this place called Sunnytown. And we were talking about this. Yeah, we were talking about this off the air. Sunnytown, I guess, is potentially not canon, right? There's no Sunnytown in the games.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard of it, but they end up seeing this ridiculous looking windy bridge that's spanning this giant body of water. And there's like, all right, cool. there's the bridge to Sunnytown. Like, that's where we're heading. That's where we're going off next. As they're about to cross the bridge, they're kind of held up by, like, the bridge attendants. Like, you can't walk, you can't, what are you doing? This bridge is still under construction. And they show this bridge, and it's like, I don't know who designed this bridge or who doesn't think that a straight line is the quickest place between 2 points, but it's like the bridge is all zigzag, like for no reason. It's just going straight across a body of water, but it's all weirdly zigzagged. They realize that they're not going to be able to walk across the bridge because the thing will close, and they can't drive a car because the bridge is not, is still under construction. So they're a little bummed out, but.
Well, the bridge attendant, he's like, well, if you guys had bikes.
Yes.
Then he sees like all these people with bikes, drive by. And
they're like, I thought the bridge was closed.
But then Misty's like, well, if somebody didn't destroy my bike.
Yeah. So while the car roads, the actual road part of the bridge isn't open, the bike path is open. So we get a throwback to episode 1 when Ash trashed Misty's bike and started the whole feud and started her following him in the first place. Like, this didn't happen, they'd have a bike right now. But so without a bike, that's when they kind of, get bummed out, and that's when they head over to the Pokemon Center and meet Nurse Joy. So with Brock drooling all over Nurse Joy, it comes out that she's so busy and she has to bring medicine to Sunnytown, to the Pokemon Center in Sunnytown, because there's a Pokemon there that's in bad shape and really needs this medicine, but she doesn't know when or how she's going to be able to do that. So, Ash, and whenever he hears an opportunity to help someone, he's going to jump all over it. So he's like, look, it's no problem. I'll be your drug runner. Like, I'll take care of this for you.
I'll take this potion for you.
I just need a bike, and that's when everyone kind of raises their eyebrows, and she's like, no sweat. We got a bunch of bikes here. You guys could totally use them. And, Ash is all fired up because he can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He can help the Pokemon Center, help Nurse Joy, help a sick Pokemon, and at the same time, utilize the fact that they can get bikes and they can get over to Sunnytown and across the bridge, before it gets dark. So they're all fired up. They're in a good place. So they get on their bikes, and it's cool because Misty and Brock are like sharing a tandem bike, which is really funny.
Which is awesome.
They're kind of like arguing about getting into rhythm of pedaling and everything, and I could just totally see that happening between them, which was a really funny dynamic. But
you're not pedaling enough.
Exactly. No. But dude, this next scene is really cool, and I'm so glad that they actually took the time to kind of play this out, because this was really neat. So as they're kind of just like, pedaling down the bridge, and remember, this bridge is huge, so they're pedaling along this bridge. It's like 10 miles long, and you can see in the distance on a small, like little, I don't know, dinghy raft. Yeah. You got Team Rocket kind of James like rowing along, and Jesse's kind of like looking out with binoculars, and it comes up in passing. They're like, this is kind of our old hometown. And we never really had a true origin story for Jesse and James, but they kind of plant this seed that Sunnytown, or wherever they're heading, is their hometown, which is really cool, because you're like, maybe this story will develop and we'll actually hear, some backstory about Jesse and James, which is pretty cool. They're off in the distance and they're kind of just spying, of course. They always get to see through binoculars what Ash and them are up to. I just thought it was cool that they planted that seed, and then they cut back to Ash on the bridge. And this whole part really is awesome. When I grew up, there was a movie called Rad in the 80s, right? And this movie was all about BMX bikes, right? And dude, being a kid when these movies came out, there was like, I just wanted to like, get a really awesome BMX bike and like build dirt jumps and do all that kind of stuff. And this whole next scene just reminded me of that awesome vibe. So as they're riding their bikes down the bridge, you kind of see like these shady types on bicycles rolling up, and they have like, doesn't the one guy have like a Zapdos
as like
his handlebars?
Yeah, he's like, I'm like Team Instinct for life.
Dude, it's so good.
He was Team Instinct before it was cool.
That's right. Well, was it ever cool? Anyway, so their bike is right. So they kind of get surrounded by this group of bikers. And again, bikers, we're talking about kids on bicycles. And it's like, but they're like rolling deep and they're rolling hard. And it's like, this is the famed bridge bike gang, they're the name is the name of the episode. And their leader, Chopper, who's, with the Zapdos bike, is kind of like being super tough and says the only way that you guys are getting past us on this bridge is if we have a battle. So.
No, he says introduction. And he's like, you need to introduce yourself first.
Oh, yeah. And that's what.
And Ash is like, hello, hi, nice to meet you.
They're leaving. All terrified. Even Brock does it too. I think he's like, hi, my name is Brock. Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're all so scared. And then he's just like, all right, well, whatever. We're the only way you're getting by is with a battle. And that's when Ash kind of snaps
he's
to
like,
it.
I don't turn down a battle.
But he probably should have in this case because Chopper busts out a golem, right?
Hold on, let me get my legendary bird.
Yeah, well, and Bulba, he pulls out Bulbasaur, and the golem just annihilates Bulbasaur. Like,
Bulbasaur's like vine whipping, and he's like, what? That does nothing to him.
He's just blocking it. He's just blocking it. But Ash then pulls out Charmander, and Charmander actually throws down pretty hard and wins.
So Charmander, starts with some, I believe it's Ember, and Golem just kind of like deflects it, and then he throws a fire spin. And basically heats Golem up, and he just gets all red, like as if he's
he's like a piece of charcoal. Hot. He's like a charcoal briquette.
Yep. And it's like then Chopper's like, Golem, like use tackle or whatever, and he just like rolls towards Charmander, and essentially just kind of like goes around the whole gang, and the gang's like, and then Chopper's like, return. And Golem goes back in the Pokeball. Yep. But the Pokeball glows red as if the Pokeball now is on fire. And so that's like that another like that weird, do Pokemon actually, do their feelings and stuff like come out of their Pokeball?
Well, because you can bring a Pokemon at least in the games, you can bring a Pokemon back, like retreat a Pokemon that's paralyzed or that's asleep.
Or burnt, yeah.
Right,
okay.
But it is interesting the way they did it, the whole thing with the Pokeball getting hot. But, I thought that was really cool. But Chopper is kind of out of commission because of that. And that's when, his second in charge, whose name is Tyra, she steps up and busts out a Cloyster. And this is cool because, these are new Pokemon for Ash and them to see. So, they pull out the Pokedex, they go through the whole motion. And Misty steps up and she's like, water Pokemon, leave this to me. And Tyra's like, oh, you're going to battle, because she sees cute little Misty. And, who does she want to call out? Doesn't she want to call out Starmie?
Yeah, she's like, who's going to be best to take on, like, this hard shell? Starmie. And then all of a sudden, Psyduck pops out.
Dude, it's so good. So, this next sequence with Psyduck, I really enjoy. Like, I love when they're able to, as a kid's show, still convey like themes that aren't so passive. Like they have this reoccurring theme here with Psyduck that they touch back and forth on over the next couple minutes, which is absolutely hilarious, where ultimately Psyduck's headache is just building and building and building, but they keep cutting to Psyduck and he's just doing everything wrong. And they like show these little question marks. So it starts off and he's got one question mark, and then he does another thing wrong and they cut back and he's got two question marks, and then they have cut back again. He's got three question marks. It's like, dude, it's just so well put together. Psyduck is, I think, about to get its face clamped by Cloyster's shell.
Which Misty is rooting for. She's like, Psyduck!
Yeah.
Like, go put your head in there.
Yeah, she's trying to get Psyduck to that point where his headache is too much and then he just starts going buck wild like, what happened last time. But right before it gets its head clamped in, Team Rocket shows up, and all right, I was just talking about how they can have these comedic themes. I don't know where they came from with this next part, but I absolutely loved it. But Team Rocket, they show up on unicycles. Which is like, what the what? And then not only are they on unicycles, but it's like a circus theme because you have Meowth wearing like a ringmaster uniform with a little
like whipping, yeah,
a little hat on the whip, and like Jesse and James have their arms stretched out on the side, like balancing, doing some like sweet unicycle moves. And I think even when they roll up, they have some kind of unicycle pun or something like that. Like, well, those one wheel do it better or something stupid like that. But when they show up, it's so cool because the people that are in the bike gang start like fanboying, fangirling over Jesse and James. And that's when it kicks back to them saying that this was their whole hometown. You actually get the origin story of Jesse and James, and it's so good. It's a really cool thing. So it turns out that Jesse's old nickname was Big Jess, and they show her,
swinging the chain.
Yeah, she's got like some chain. She's wearing like a schoolgirl outfit, and it's like, oh my gosh, look at Jesse go. And then they show James. He was called Little Jim. And Chopper's like, out of everyone in the biker gang, he was the only one that still had to use training wheels. It's like, dude.
And it cuts to James, and he's just like, he's so excited, driving really fast.
But then they cut to the training wheels. Yeah, it's so good. so good. But the biker gang is totally on board with Team Rocket. So they have a history. They know them. I think they even say like, what have you been doing? What have you been up to these days? You still in a bike gang? And that's when Jesse's like, no, we're villains. You know, we work for Team Rocket. And that's all the bike gang needed to hear because they all go like gaga over the fact that they're actually talking to people that are on the famous and notorious Team Rocket. So they're on board. So now you've got poor Ash, Brock, and Misty on rented bikes with drugs in their pocket, trying to get to the other side of the bridge. And now not only are they dealing with a bike gang, but it's a bike gang plus Team Rocket. And they're completely outnumbered. And it's causing a bit of a scene. And that's when the Popo shows up.
Officer Jenny.
So Brock has another opportunity. So 2 times in one episode to try to get it in. But Officer Jenny shows up. And, I think doesn't the bike gang like take off? Like they get all scared. And,
yeah, they're like, whoa, we got
Team Rocket too.
Here.
Team Rocket gets all scared. Like everyone's acting all tough, and then the cops show up, and it's like everyone wigs out. But because Ash, knows he didn't do anything wrong, that's why he sticks around and is able to talk to Officer Jenny. But just as Officer Jenny starts meeting them, she gets called away to like something else. And she's like, all right, you guys good? See you later. It's like, dude, they were just like surrounded by a gang that, you scared them off, but now you're going to send them back out on their way. Like, dude, you're not protecting you are not protecting and serving right now. It's just like, oh, I got a call. I got to go. Good luck getting to the other side. Hopefully they don't bother you again. It is pretty funny how it just gets all broken up like that. But two times for Brock to get his thirst on.
She's like, I don't have time for that.
Yes. Poor Brock. So they continue on their journey across the bridge, right? As they're going across the bridge, there's like this insane storm rolling in. So you got these major storm clouds coming in, and because they got held up by the cops, Team Rocket and the gang were able to go to Sunnytown and get over to the other side. So they're like watching from windows, watching back out. And they're like, all right, here comes Ash and them, but here comes the storm. And before you know it, they're kind of like hinting towards the gang kind of showing respect for Ash and them because they're out riding in bad weather, like they're pressing on. So you kind of get that little seed planted of, hey, they may look up to Ash a little bit because he's trudging on. Some just young kid on a bike, unheard of, but yet he's pushing on through the storm.
And then they say, like, oh, Big Jess, Little Jim, this storm's nothing for you guys. You've ridden in worse.
Don't they cut back to James and he's like, I wish I had my training wheels.
Yep. on the unicycle? That doesn't work.
So the point of this is the bike gang wants Team Rocket to lead them. They want Jesse and James like, come on, let's go ride out and meet them. Like, we'll show these guys who's boss. Kind of put Team Rocket on the spot where obviously Team Rocket would wimp out under normal circumstances, but because they're getting pressured by, this entire legion of fans, they kind of,
they're forced.
They're forced to like put their money where their mouth is and get out there and go. So they finally back out into the storm and ride out to meet Ash. And just as they're riding out, the drawbridge goes up and it's like this Fast and Furious moment, which I totally love this scene because it's like everyone's getting nervous. The bridge is going up. You got Team Rocket on one side. You got Ash and the crew on the other side. Team Rocket's looking all stupid on their unicycles. Ash is looking all determined, pushing on with his drugs in his pocket. You got all this stuff converging. And it's like, you got the biker gang kind of rooting on, like, what's going to happen? Like, I don't know if they're going to make it. Like, there's a lot of anxiety here and the tension is super high. And anytime Ash demonstrates like how determined he is, that it kind of reminds me of what the show is all about. It's about this outcast kid has everything happen against him, but still trudges on. And this is exactly what happens in this scene. I think Misty and Brock even say like, Ash, chill out, back up. You gotta wait for the bridge to go down. And Ash is like, no, I need to make this.
I'm going for it.
You have Team Rocket who's like terrified on the other side, but they're getting pressured by the biker gang to do it. So they start climbing and like, again, they're on unicycles. So it's that much more ridiculous. And meanwhile, the wind is blowing like crazy. The rain is coming down super thick and Ash is just going and going. And they finally get to the point where they're about to both jump. They would like kind of intersect each other in midair. And as they jump, you hear the biker gang go like, oh no, they're not going to make it. And you're like, what the heck's going to happen? Is everyone going to just fall into the water and get washed out right now?
And Misty yells, she's like, we're not going to make it. And Ash goes, we'll bounce. And so they bounce off of Jesse and James to make it across the bridge.
It's Jesse and James may have made it, and then they just got like bumped down with the back wheel, and they just get pushed down. They fall like 500 feet into the water. It's just like, it's so good. It's so funny. It's so funny. But Ash and them make it over the bridge. They pull off this sweet Fast and Furious, drift move at the end, and the other bikers, the biker gang, they can't help but be impressed. Because obviously they're into the biker extreme lifestyle, and they just saw this gnarly move get, perfectly landed, perfectly executed. Don't mind that Team Rocket's, blasted off in the water, but you got Ash and them like that just made this triumphant entrance to the opposite side, as they're entering into Sunnytown. And it's just absolutely awesome that they sway the biker gang just like that. It comes out that Ash has this satchel with the drugs in it, and he's like, I'm just trying to get to the Pokemon Center. There's a sick Pokemon there. I need to help it. I'm coming from the other Pokemon Center on the other side of the bridge. And then it's a major turn of heart from the biker gang.
Wow, we'll take you.
Yeah, like, you did all this, man? He's like, you're our brother, we'll give you an escort. And it's like, screw the police escort, they get the bridge bike gang escort, which is great. They get to the other side, and as they're getting to the other side, the Nurse Joy in the Sunnytown Pokemon Center is like on the phone with the other Nurse Joy saying like, oh my goodness, like, they're not here yet. Like, I don't know if they make it. And then they show up.
Yeah, I don't know if they can make it through the storm. Like, I hope they make it.
But yes, Ash can make it. And it turns out there's this cute little poor sick Shelder that was about to die. So had they not made it with the medicine, the Shelder would have died.
And they just dump the potion in the water, and instantaneously,
it's like,
the Shelder's just like, I'm awake. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, but it's so funny. It's so funny. But so everyone's happy. It's like one of these really overly cheesy happy endings. It's really cool. Team Rocket is blasted off. They're on Beat Street. They've lost their fans and lost the respect of the biker gang. But now the biker gang is all about Ash and the party because they saw them, clear the bridge and this jump and through the storm and all that. And they're like, you guys are now honorary members of the biker gang. We're going to give you some nicknames. And he's like, Ash, you're now Awesome Ash. And this is Mighty Misty. And then Brock,
You can call me Honey.
It's like, doesn't he get slapped? Doesn't someone slap him or something like that?
The biker girl.
Yeah, Tyra or whatever slaps him because of course he couldn't let an opportunity go without him trying to get that number. This was a really fun episode. It was, I'm totally bummed that we missed out on the Safari Zone thing because apparently there's going to be down the road. This is not really a spoiler, but in this Safari Zone episode, there was a stampede of Tauros. And apparently they had a contest to see who could catch the most. And Ash ends up catching 30 Tauros. And this is referenced later down, in the series. But if you ever hear Ash catching 30 Tauros at once, it was from this banned episode, and that's why no one's ever seen it, really. So I gotta get my hands on this episode. I want to see how intense it is with all this gun pointing, but pretty cool episode, man. What did you think?
I thought it was amazing. I really enjoyed this, with the backstory and then the biker gang, their change of heart, the nicknames. Awesome Ash and Mighty Misty.
The change of heart was my favorite part. Like, that was the coolest thing for me because, the loyalty didn't last long once they figured out that there was actually a real positive mission going on, So I really like that. So let's wrap this episode up. We wrap up every episode with a booster unboxing. I have a Sun and Moon booster. So
I got the Shining Legends.
I've been sitting on all those Shining Legends still in that premium collection, all blister packed up. So I did find this Sun and Moon just kind of laying around. So a couple sets old, but I'm not trying to break up that big Shining Legend box just to steal a booster out of it. So here we go, Sun and Moon booster: Alolan Persian, Herdier, Wishy Washy, Surskit, Growlithe. I love the art on this Growlithe. It's super cartoony. Crabrawler. Marini. Roggenrola. My reverse is a Herdier. And my rare is Primarina GX. Fantastic. Bam, 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 bam. Awesome.
I still don't have one of those.
Sweet. Well, I believe it was the Luminous Frost theme deck that I played on Twitch a couple videos ago that I did, and there was a Primarina deck, so it'd be cool to just modify that deck a little bit and toss this GX in there, but heck yes, shiny stuff is good. Woo! Speaking of shiny stuff, let's see what you got, man.
Alright, let's see in the Shining Legends. Alright, so I've got an Ivysaur, a Shroomish, a Totodile, a Bulbasaur, a Pikachu, a Liepard, a Happy Electrode, a Trainer Great Ball. My reverse holo is a Virizion, which I believe is a holo in the set. And my holo is a Marshadow.
Okay.
With the ability Let Loose!
Is it any good?
I don't know what it does. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may have each player shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 4 cards. So it's like the supporter card called Judge.
Nice. Awesome.
It's a hand refresh.
But your opponent gets it as well.
Yeah, but if you're down cards and you can just search for a Pokemon and just drop it just to get cards.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Just a different way.
I'm excited. GX cards are cool.
I didn't get one.
Awesome. So that's going to wrap up this episode. You can check out everything about our show at GottaWatchTheMall.com. It has links to everything that we're doing, all our different YouTube playlists. We got Pokemon Go vlogs, streams, TCGO streams, unboxings, podcasts, oh my, stuff. So check out Gotta Watch Them All the links are there. We could definitely use your help by leaving us a review in iTunes. Please, if you have a chance, got an extra minute, we'd love some feedback on iTunes. It'll help get our podcast seen by more people. When they search for Pokemon, we'll be easier to be discovered. Give us a review. I'd love to shout you out on the show. And like I said, you can email us at gottawatchthemallpodcast@gmail.com. Check out gottawatchthemall.com. Big shout out to Seth Hay for our logo, Grimecraft for the intro music, Chipocrypt for the outro music. You can find me personally on Twitter at ProudGamerTweet. Adam, where can they find you?
You can find me personally on Twitter at PhoenixBack4Fire.
And that's going to wrap it up. We'll see everyone in about a week. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a lot of exciting stuff there.
Yeah, we're going to see I Choose You tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I Choose You tomorrow. Both of us are going. One in New Jersey, one in New Hampshire, but we are both going, so maybe I'll do a quick 30-second review on Instagram or something like that. From what I hear, it brings all the feels.
Well, I plan on bringing my camera, so...
I plan on bringing tissues because I'm going to be crying like crazy because that's how I roll. I'm not afraid to say it, man. I cried during The Hobbit, you know what I'm saying? So I cry at everything. So if this has any, like, the original Pokemon movie feels, like, oh, it's going to slay me. So it's always entertaining. So I'm sure Melissa will take pictures of me crying in my seat or something like that.
Please do.
We'll see everyone next week. Thanks so much for checking us out. Take care, everyone. Peace out.